Graded A. Grade.
What up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Pick6 podcast. It's your host, Musa, here again. I'm with my guys, Ty, Mike, and Clipsman. How's everyone doing today?
Doing good. How was everybody's Thanksgiving?
It was good.
Yes,
Football
yes.
Games, nah, not so much.
Yeah, the one
After
game
the
I was
first one.
hoping for was a blowout, but and that was the Dolphins-Packers game. We're going to get into that game, but I didn't watch the Giants or the Cowboys. I caught some of the first game. It was good Thanksgiving. All my picks went right from what Mike told me. So I had a clean sweep this week on picks. So I'm not complaining at all. But we're going to get right into it, man. We're going to start right from the top. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. If you're watching the show, leave a like, a comment, subscribe to the channel, tell a friend to tell a friend. We're going to get right into last week's football games. We're going to go into week 12. We had the Thursday night game, of course, with the Browns and the Steelers. That was a game of the year candidate, if I might say, with the snow being involved in the second half. Browns ended up stealing that game against the Steelers, but the Browns typically been having the Steelers number recent as of late in the division. What are you guys' thoughts on that Steelers-Browns game?
Basically, it's I agree with you. Sneaky game of the year candidate with the snow and everything that happened, and it's just typical Steelers, man. Whenever they're a favorite, they don't come through, and then when they're a 3-point dog like today, it's a beautiful spot to pick them in. So we'll see if that continues today. But I think the Steelers still got the North under wraps, but Browns, I'm curious to see if they can continue that momentum this week against the Broncos with Jameis Winston, but they seem to be a very up and down team because they had that one against the Ravens, and then the next week they came out completely flat. So we'll see what happens, but great game.
For sure. Ty, Clips, any thoughts on that Thursday game?
Not surprised. Mike Tomlin knows how to lose these trap games. That's what it was. It was just a trap game. The weather didn't make it better. I just thought, especially that fourth quarter where he was alternating between Russ and Fields, I don't know. For me, that just looked hilarious. And I felt like they just gave up. It was a trap game. He knew they was going to lose that. But that tells you about the AFC North. These guys keep just beating each other. Anyone could get a win. And it sucks for the Steelers because most of their remaining games are in that division. So it is something to think about.
For sure. Clips, you have any thoughts on the Thursday game with the Steelers and the Browns?
Nah, not really. I really didn't even get a chance to catch that game, to be fair.
I will say some of my big takeaways, and it's not necessarily from this game, but overall production for the season, is George Pickens itching into that top 10 receiver top because he's been balling especially since Russ became the quarterback. He's been just taking off as that wide receiver one for the Steelers.
Yeah, I think so for sure, and that's a good point because I forgot to mention this too. I thought to open the game, that game plan was way too conservative, just trying to run with the weather. Once they started to open and throw it up and get him involved, that's when the Steelers started to get the lead and didn't move the ball more. So I think he could crack it, maybe like the 9-10 spot when it's all said and done, though, for sure.
Yeah, I think he has potential. And someone I like to group him with is Jameson Williams in Detroit. They do have a potential to be top 10. However, it's just their actions. That's something to think about because George Pickens, every game he has, there's something foolish going on, you know. So it's also something to keep an eye on. But he does have the potential. I would love to see it though.
I think he clears Jameis Williams, in my opinion.
I agree with you.
I don't think it's a conversation. They're not even in the same tier, in my opinion.
Yeah,
That's
no, I think he clears him. I'm just saying, like,
from the on-field stuff.
yeah, their actions. That's something that holds both of them back, you know, from reaching their potential. But I think Pickens is way a better receiver than Jameson Williams.
I'm gonna list off some names and see if you guys have them over or under. Jettas.
We don't even got to talk about that one.
Yeah,
bro.
we don't
Come
have
on.
to talk about it.
Come on now.
Jamar Chase.
Same
we also
thing.
don't have to talk about
Yeah.
it.
It's closer than you guys think as far as what they can do on the field. I don't think production is close, but
I'd even put T. Higgins over Pickens, to be honest with you, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
that's what the love stops for me. I love T. Higgins, but I don't think he's better than Pickens. He got better hands. He's a better deep threat, in my opinion. He's a better yak receiver.
Better jump ball guy too.
Better jump ball guy. The route running is probably the only thing I'll say is toss up. But that's why I said it's a lot closer than you might think with Chase, because the route running, I give Chase a slight edge on, but everything else is up and up, like yak, hands, everything. But I still give it to Chase, nonetheless.
Oh, I was talking about Higgins for the jump ball thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Next name, AJ Brown.
Go slight edge to AJ Brown. Not by much though.
I got AJ Brown.
Tay Adams.
Give me Pickens.
What?
I don't know about that one.
Right now.
Yeah, give me Pickens, bro. He's a shell.
Devontae Adams still a top 10 wide receiver?
No, absolutely not. He's not even top 20.
Yes.
Top 20 is crazy. I think if we're slowly basing it off this season, he isn't top 10. But I do think he can be at that 11, 12, 13 range where Pickens is at, you know. So
Tyreek.
Well, this year,
he's
not at all.
Yeah, he's not top 10 this year.
I think he might. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I think he might be. He might be near in the end. But the big problem with him is McDaniel just doesn't even try to get him the ball deep anymore. But to go with it, their offensive line is so bad that he doesn't even have the time to run deep. So, but I actually got Pickens over Hill.
Amon-Ra.
I got Amon-Ra.
Garrett Wilson.
I got Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, I also got Garrett Wilson.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
I got Pickens.
Yeah, Pickens.
Cooper Kupp.
I got Pickens right now. I'm not gonna lie. Nakua's the number one in that offense.
Take your time, Ty. I know.
I mean, nah, I'll give Pickens.
You can feel free to jump into this too. I'm just here playing devil's advocate, y'all. Puka. Is he better than
I got Puka over Pickens.
Yeah, I got Puka.
Nico Collins.
I got Nico.
Mike Evans.
I got Mike Evans.
Yeah, Mike Evans.
I might have to go George on that one. CD Lamb.
George.
I still got CD. I don't know.
Based off this year, I got Pickens, but if we were going into the year, I would have had Lamb over him. But I don't know. Maybe now that he's paid, it's not there. I know they don't really have a good team around him. It could be the coach, but this year I'd lean Pickens. But if you asked me before the year, I'd absolutely say CD Lamb.
I got a few more names. DJ Moore.
I got George Pickens.
Yeah.
Brandon Ayuk.
Pickens.
Yeah.
Malik Neighbors.
Pickens. For now.
Yeah, for now.
Okay. I was waiting. I'm trying to test y'all temperature real quick, man. Terry McLaurin.
That's a close one, but I got a slight edge to Pickens.
I still got Scary Terry.
Y'all know I think Terry's top 10. So if you have Pickens over him, that's fine. But I think they're right next to each other as far as like on the list.
Yeah.
I think Pickens just has a little bit more size than Terry, where he has that more of
Little
that
bit?
jump ball ability. Yeah, yeah, he has more of that jump ball ability where Terry doesn't. That's the one reason why I give him a slight edge. They're a little bit different type of receiver.
The one thing I will say that Terry clears him in is route running for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
But Terry got hands and he can get down the field, but I think the yak is where the separator is. That's why I said it's. I got Chase over Pickens, but if you really look at what each individual does on the field, it's a lot closer than people may realize. It's just one got Joe Burrow, the other one just finally got Russ. So, I'm gonna do one more name. Nah, I got two more. Did I already say Brian Thomas Jr.?
No, you're not.
Okay, so I actually got two more after him, and then we can move on.
Yeah, I'll take Pickens.
Yeah, I'll take Pickens.
Stephon Diggs, before he got hurt, obviously.
I'll still take Pickens.
And the last name, Deebo Samuel.
Pickens.
If Deebo could stay healthy, I'd probably take Deebo, but that man can't stay healthy. I got Pickens.
Yeah, as a receiver, I think Pickens clears.
Yeah, Deebo's he's
as a
more
football
versatile.
player, yeah.
Yeah.
I would rather have Deebo for my play style because I can put him in a bunch of different scenarios, running game, receiving. But as we strictly talking wide receiver, I'm gonna go Pickens. All right, so I just want to test the temperature. He's right along that top 10. Seems like on a cusp of breaking in for the most of names I heard. All right, that's fair enough. We're gonna move on to the next game. I want to talk about the Bears and the Vikings, but I'm gonna say a Bears game for the other Bears game. I think we're gonna have a lot more to say about that than the Vikings game. So the next game we're gonna talk about, we can get into. Let's see, because there was a lot of blowouts last week. We can talk about the Eagles and the Rams, and then we can finish off with the Ravens Chargers. What did you guys think on that Eagles Rams game? I'm sorry, Ty. I know.
You go, Ty. Let's hear it.
Special over there, man.
I mean, there's nothing I can say, bro. Saquon Barkley is literally that guy. There's nothing I can say. That literally game changer. And it's scary because I know not everyone's so high on the Eagles, but as long as that production is like that, it's going to be hard to beat this team. And I think they can beat the Lions. So I think I'm kind of leaning Eagles to the Super Bowl. I know they're 8-3, or what are they, 9-2, right?
Yes.
Okay, they're 9-2. Pretty much that division's locked up because of what happened to the Commanders these last couple weeks.
So they let me down, Ty.
Honestly, good for them. As long as their wide receivers can stay healthy, I think the NFC Championship game is Lions-Eagles.
Now, if my Packers got something to say about it.
Yeah.
I'm not
got
really
hope on
high
one
on
of my
the
predictions.
As I've always said about Saquon, I think I said this at the beginning of the year, we know what he can do if he's healthy. When he's healthy, I think he's probably hands down the best running back in the league. But with the Rams, I don't know, man. I got the Saints over them today. I ain't gonna lie. That's alarming to lose to the Dolphins. You see once they don't play the Patriots or the Raiders, what true team they are, and then just only beating the Patriots by 6 points. That's alarming to me. So the Rams, I'm think they've sort of back to the team that they were about 4 weeks ago. And as for the Eagles, I think they'll. I got them over Baltimore today. I think Detroit would still beat them, and I think you could definitely see someone upset them in the playoffs because they've sort of, other than the year that they made to the Super Bowl, they sort of fizzle out towards the end. And I know we were touching on the Commanders. Personally, I think the Commanders are going to miss the playoffs, and this is solely because of Jaden Daniels having that rib injury. I think he's much more hurt than he's giving off, and people are saying because he's not looked the same since the rib injury, and Austin Eckler going down, that's not good for the Commanders. I know he's on IR, but I think they'll unfortunately fall out. But I think they'll have a good year next year for sure.
Fair. Because we were just talking about the Rams-Eagles game and thoughts on that. I will say Saquon, he's starting to get that. He looked like he got that burst back before the injury in New York, and everyone remembers before that injury in New York, having him with that burst and everything else he was doing. He was getting them Barry Sanders like comparisons. He's looking like that again. We all know he's a home run hitter, but he can hurt you throughout the game. And what makes him so dangerous is the receiving. Him and Henry, old washed up Derrick Henry, is the only two running backs currently over 1,000, well over 1,000 yards rushing. The gap between the two is the receiving game. Saquon's been a key factor in Philly's offense when it comes to passing the ball. I love what they did against the Rams. They held them under just at 20 points, which is great. The Eagles was able to run the ball very well. Hurts was able to find the key spots in the defense to exploit them. And again, I think the biggest issue with the Rams is that they're just young on defense. And I think as they get better on defense and mature, they'll be a better team. The only problem is Matthew Stafford is not 5 years younger. So that's the only problem they have. Neither is Kupp. So they have some promising pieces, but all in all, I just think the Eagles are the better team. I think they lose against Baltimore because I'm a little biased, but I think they have a great chance of beating Baltimore today as well.
Question for Ty, real quick. Who do you think's better, Fisk or Verse, while we're on the Rams? Because I know Fisk, he's gaining momentum in the defensive player in the year market, and he's getting the sacks the past few weeks. It hasn't been Verse.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna still go with Verse. But when I see them play together, it reminds me not to make Verse be that guy. But it reminds me of Aaron Donald with anybody else. Once that offense and that offensive line is focused on protecting and stopping that one guy who is Verse in this case, it's gonna be easier for Fisk to come in and get to the quarterback. So I see a little, I used to call it the Aaron Donald effect, but now I'm calling it the Jared Verse effect. So that's all I think it is. Because when the teams were treating him like just a plain old rookie, that's how he was racking up all those sacks. But the last couple of weeks, they're not playing him as a rookie. They're honestly protecting the quarterback, and there's a veteran defender coming at them. So I think they're both good, and especially when you're teammates in college, this is a no-brainer. I knew these guys were going to play like that. My only issue going into the year with the Rams was the secondary, and to me, it's still the secondary. So.
All right. While we're still on the Eagles-Rams game, Saquon Barkley, has he entered the MVP conversations for this season?
You can put him in the conversation if you want, but I can't see him winning it.
If he breaks the record, I mean, this would be a perfect year to give it to a running back.
He's on pace to break it also, too.
Because, voter fatigue with Lamar Jackson. So if the voters don't want to give it to Lamar Jackson, but Lamar Jackson has better stats than Josh Allen it kind of creates a weird, a weird thing if they were to name Allen MVP over Lamar. So I think it would save their behinds and give it to a running back if he breaks the record. I can see that.
I wouldn't mind that because I feel like this award might as well just be the quarterback of the year award because I'm tired of hearing MVP. You have players that are better, having better seasons than some of these quarterbacks that still get the award because they played the quarterback position. Another example would have been Derrick Henry should have had an MVP when he broke 2K. I just don't see how he couldn't get it. Last year, you could have gave it to McCaffrey last year, honestly. The way McCaffrey played last year, he should have won it. So I think if Lamar continues to play the way he's playing, but the record is not better than Philly's, and the same thing with Buffalo, I wouldn't be mad to see Saquon get the award. I think he's in the conversation. I think he's at least top 3, top 4 in the combos. I think he might have a chance to go over Goff, but if I'm being honest, I know he's not going to win it. I would love to see him win, but I'm not going to get my hopes up. I wouldn't take that bet.
I think he's got offensive player in the year in the bag, though.
For the NFC,
I think they're based. They only do one.
I thought it was separate conferences.
Because I know Derrick Henry's right behind him in the odds, so that's the only reason why I think that.
All right, we're gonna move on. Next game, we got the Ravens and the Chargers from the Monday night game. Derrick Henry had 24 carries for 140 yards. Herbert threw 218 yards, 36 attempts, 21 completions. McConkey had 6 for 83 yards, but they just fall short by a touchdown to the Ravens. And the Ravens had needed a must-win, as well as the Chargers do, as far as the playoff seeding. And you guys' thoughts on this game from Monday night?
A lot of drop passes from Quentin Johnson to start off. That was I think if he had a few of those catches, one I think would have gone for a touchdown. There was a few first downs in there too. That would have changed the complexion of the game completely. But I think Lamar, if he was to get back in the MVP race, this would have been a great game for him to have a signature game and get back in it. And when he came out throwing, it wasn't pretty, so they had to rely on Henry after that. They still got the job done, which was good. But I just think if he was to get back in the MVP race, that's what he would have had to do. But I don't know. The Chargers, you look at who they played, it's not all that great. Their wins, some of the losses are just, I don't know. I think the Chargers are not that great a team, to be honest, and a product of their schedule. I think they'll beat the Falcons today, though, because they're also the same thing. I don't think the Falcons will make the playoffs myself. I think the Bucs will come back, but overall, it was a good Monday night game, though. I'm not going to complain with it.
You're saying the Chargers are fool's gold?
Well, I don't think they were gold to begin with, bro. So once again, I can't. Yeah.
So, your thoughts?
Honestly, I agree to all your points, Mike, on the Chargers. Pretty much their offense is just Herbert, Ladd, and now Disley. That's really it. Especially with J.K. Dobbins going down. The running game couldn't do anything in that Baltimore game. That's what kind of hurt them, because now you're going to have to give Josh Palmer almost 10 targets a game. And we know he could barely catch. Jalen Reagor, come on. So when you're receiving cores like that, honestly, best way to beat the Chargers, just make them throw the ball. Their success has really been just slowly based off the running game this year, and that's what got them most of the wins. So it's going to be a tough last couple games for them, especially the next 4. The Falcons game is pretty much a toss-up today. I think I would even want to bet on that. That could go either way. But to the Ravens, I didn't see anything that we haven't seen before. It's just Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. Glad they didn't blow a lead, but that's about it.
I know once we're going to have an episode in the future about the mock drafts. I know who the Chargers should definitely look into drafting at wide receiver. He's up in Arizona. That's another one you can go
Yeah,
get.
but if they make the playoffs, they're
he's
gonna have
not
to
gonna
trade
go.
up for
Then
him.
you know what? Go get Jimmy Horn.
They're not going to take him in the first round,
You
bro.
don't got to get him in the
Man.
first round. You don't need to get him in the first round. Mike, I know you're not high on him, but we'll say that for Wednesday's show.
Is he even coming out of the draft this year?
Yeah,
I thought he was next year.
He's a senior this year.
Oh, he is? Okay.
But we're gonna move right along. My thoughts on the Chargers Ravens game. I agree it was a lot of drop passes. Quentin Johnson, get him off the field. Get him out of here. Just get him out of here. Too many drop passes. He has improved a little bit early in the season compared to last season, but his biggest kryptonite is the drop passes. The Harbaugh brother matchup ends with Big Brother winning again. I think the Chargers are a season or two away. I like what they have. I love the addition of J.K. Dobbins. I didn't think he would be this good considering coming off the injury. But one thing he has shown is never doubt him when he gets to his lowest points, which is obviously the season injuries. They need work on our defense. Joey Bosa, I don't know. Like, where is he? You pay him all this money. I don't see him at all. Khalil Mack is doing what Khalil Mack does, although he's not the same Mack in the past, but he's still serviceable. I can't remember the D tackle's name, but he's been really good this season. He's been helping a lot with alleviating some pressure for Mack to get off the edge. Derwin James hasn't. He fell off a little bit. He's still one of the top safeties in the league, but don't get me wrong, but he's not the same from previous seasons, but he's still really, really great. And their corners is like meh. So it's like the defense needs some help. They need a couple of pieces on the wide receiver end. I think they could do something in that division, especially if Bo Nix doesn't progress for Denver. But Ravens. The Ravens do what the Ravens always do: take care of business when they lock in. It wasn't the typical Raven game. Lamar wasn't Lamar-like when it comes to passing the ball, but he still was accountable for 21 of their 30 points. So threw for less than 200 yards this game, but 2 touchdowns, no picks, ran for a touchdown. So he did what he had to do, game managing the game. Understanding that the big fella needs the ball, 22. That's what they should have done last week, and they probably would never lost. But all in all, I say it all the time: the Ravens can be the best team in the AFC if they don't beat themselves, and that's why they always fall short, because they beat themselves all the time. And this is one of the years where they can't afford to do that because the defense is not what it was the last few years, at least especially the years where Lamar won MVP. So that's my take. I think they beat the Eagles. I think it's gonna be a very, very close game, but that's kind of like my overall thoughts on that Chargers Ravens game.
Well, you're talking about T-Mac. I've seen a lot of mock drafts that have him. Believe it or not, you're probably gonna like the sound of this one. So if they don't get Will Campbell, that's who the Patriots they've said might draft to get a May receiver.
I don't hate it, but you can have all the receivers in the world. If you ain't got time to throw the ball, it won't matter.
That's fair. I agree 100%. It's just something that I caught my eye when you mentioned
that's really interesting though, because it's like, since we're on the NFL, it's the same thing. Mahomes would have had 4 Super Bowls if he had an O-line against Tampa.
Yeah.
If he had some type of O-line, they probably would have beaten Tampa.
That's a good point.
So I say that to say I would love the addition of him, but we can't protect Drake May. There's nothing we can do. While we're on the Drake May topic, though, real quick, I want to ask you guys a question because I have a coworker who I might have on the show one day, depending on his schedule and stuff. We talked about the Patriots on Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And he mentioned how Gerard Mayo is probably the worst coach in the NFL right now, if not history. And I just looked at him like, dude.
So he's basically saying he's Hugh Jackson.
Yeah, exactly. That's all.
I'm just like, he's blaming everything on him. He's like, he's not an offensive coach, he's a defensive coach, and defense is worse, and they have all the same pieces. And I'm like, sure, but you also have to take the fact that their best defensive player, arguably, Christian Barmore was out majority of the season. He just came back. They got rid of Uche. I forgot the linebacker. I didn't even mention this to him in face. The linebacker Bentley's out for the season. So it's like they have pieces that they're missing. He thinks if Mike Vrabel was the coach or Ben Johnson, we would have had at least 6 wins. I'm like, you don't want to win these games. You want to stay where you're at in the draft order to build this team. This team is not good. And he never wants the team to be better than what it is. I'm like, that's the problem with some of these Patriots fans. This is why people that's watching the show respect me as I'm an unbiased Patriots fan. They stink. I'm okay with that. Build the team. I don't need you guys trying to win these games. Of course, I'm not telling you to go out there and just lose, but go out there, find what works and who's sticking out, and then you build around that. I just don't see he's already calling for Mayo's head and everything. I'm like, dude, it's the first season. You gotta give him a chance. Like,
I disagree with you on that. You never want to lose. Drafting is so overrated. You never know what you're going to get out of these guys. You always should just try to win, especially looking at this year with how a third of the league almost only has like 2 or 3 wins. I think with Vrabel, yes, they would have had 6 wins. I agree with that take. Ben Johnson, I don't know about that because I know these glorified OCs to become head coaches like the guy in Miami. It's not all it's cracked up to be. But with Mayo, it's little things with him. Like against Tennessee, you don't know which direction the wind's going, and you choose to go to that direction. That's where the direction that May threw the interception in. He's only in his late 30s. That's what everyone needs to remember. I keep forgetting he's that young, but I don't think he's as bad as everyone makes him out to be. But the question is, and a lot of people wonder, was he really calling the defense when Bill was here? Because they never named him the DC. They would always be with Steve Belichick. But I think there's just dysfunction within the whole organization, and it's not all on Mayo. Look at the GM, look at the owner, look at the other coaches that are on the staff. It's not just him. It's what he has to work with. Do I think he's a great coach? Absolutely not. Do I think he has the potential to be though? Yes, I do. I just I don't think he's as bad as everyone makes him out to be. But one thing that I think he should improve on is I know he's a players coach right now, and whenever I hear players coach, to me that means you're not serious about winning, because these players coaches, they don't discipline guys, and they don't get them to where they need to be.
So I'm gonna let you take off on that before I ask the question. Rhetorical. Because the player part, I don't agree with at all. Because there's one coach that just is constantly coming through my head when you say that. Who's succeeding right now?
I agree. I don't agree with that point. Because you can be a player coach as long as you know how to coach. You know, that's the point of it. You know. But Musa, I agree to your point, and this is why I hate Patriots fans. And my boss, my manager, he's a Patriots fan, and he comes in every Monday after the Patriots talking about Ben Johnson. I'm like, the coach isn't the problem
at all. He deserves blame, but he's not the sole problem.
The players minus the O-line's not the problem. The real problem has always been in front of Patriots fans' face. It is Robert Kraft. Until they see that point, they're gonna blame the coach. That's why when Mike said, "Don't be surprised if Gerard Mayo's gone after this year," I sat there and I was like, "Yo, I can see it."
Scapegoat.
Exactly.
Another point that my friend mentioned, coworker of mine, he sent me a picture. Which quarterbacks excel at creating plays outside the structure? Which he was sending us to prove his point that he made about how Drake May buys time for these receivers. I'm like, yeah, I said that from when he first started against Houston. He can run out the pocket and extend the plays, but that can work as long as the O-line's not getting holding plays. And Drake May is currently above average. He's right along with Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts above that mark.
One thing I just want to bring up when you said that, I go look at the EPA on the passes downfield. He's bottom 3 in the league. That's
I was also to that point too. Mike, I was also going to say that that's a great stat, but at the same time, you realize look at what Mayo had at the beginning of the season. He's like, we lost to the Dolphins. I'm like, do you remember that Dolphins game where damn near the entire line was out and Jacoby Brissett had to run for his life the whole game because the O-line couldn't block? And this was before the defense started getting banged up for Miami. So I'm like, you got to put context into these situations and scenarios. I just feel like sometimes the Patriots fans just overreacting, and it's like, listen, I got to see 6 Super Bowls in my 20 years. I'm okay if they don't win another Super Bowl. I lived during the greatest era. Am I going to settle for mediocrity and piss poor performances? No. But I'm also acknowledging that you got to give it time. Yes, Kraft needs to get that wallet out and pay these players. Go get a T. Higgins. Go get you an O-line. If you don't want to lose, you need to pay players to be there. Because you got pieces. You got Barmore. You got Duggar. I like Peppers. You have Christian Gonzalez, although Mike's not really too high on him. But
no, he's good. He's good. He's just not great.
He's not what Mike thinks he's not great yet. I think he's one of the better corners in the league. You have pieces on the defense. I love Jones, Jack Jones. He's like a utility.
Jack Jones is out in Vegas now.
What's the small?
Jonathan Jones.
Yes, I'm sorry. My apologies. Jonathan Jones. I like.
Or Marcus Jones. I don't know which one.
Yeah, it's a lot of Joneses. That's what. Yeah. My apologies, but I love he's a utility piece because you can use him on defense, which is primarily what he's known for. But he's used in special teams and he can be used on offense. So I love him as a utility a gadget guy. You have all these pieces on New England that you can mold around. And like I said, Drake May, I ain't saying he's going to be Josh Allen, but he's giving me rookie year Josh Allen vibes, where he's just throwing the ball over the field carelessly, picks, but he has flashes here and there. And he's shown that if you get the right system around him, he can flourish as long as he uses the offseason to progress and get better. His feet in the pocket has been a lot better than what I expected to be since he started, because he wasn't that good at North Carolina. But I'm just not gonna put all my eggs in one basket for the Patriots. Like, I know it's gonna take a couple seasons to get this thing going. But I wanted to just put that out there. As soon as that slipped my mind, I want to bring it to you guys' attention.
One thing I want to mention about May, and I mentioned it last week too, his hands are tiny. And this kid cannot hold on to the football. The fumbles are an issue, and his hands are not going to grow. That's not going to happen. So I don't think this kid's going to be any more than Zach Wilson, if you want my honest opinion, because he underthrows the deep ball. That's a great pass to Hooper last week, but it's underthrown. You brought 3 defenders back into the play, and then I see the news. They say, "Oh, we definitely have the quarterback." Did you not watch the rest of the game? He was atrocious. Like, I don't understand the comparisons to Josh Allen whatsoever. That's not on you. Going back to what you said, Musa, because I know you said specifically the rookie year, but I know ESPN said he's like compares him to Josh Allen. I don't see the similar play at all whatsoever. If you want to consider him to maybe a mobile Phillip Rivers, and that's a huge overreach in my opinion, that would be more of a better comparison, because I don't see any similarities in his game to Josh Allen's whatsoever.
So I'm gonna let you go off on that, because we went from Zach Wilson, which is crazy.
Phillip Rivers,
and then the Phillip
crazy.
If he becomes that, everyone should be happy.
And
I would agree with that.
To be honest, honestly, coming into the draft, I would say I wasn't high on Drake May, to be completely honest. But from what I've seen this season, he has shown me that there is potential. But at the end of the day, nothing's perfect in New England right now. So I'm not going to blame the quarterback. If he's throwing the interceptions, so be it. But I draw the line where people are like, this is the franchise quarterback. Because nothing I've seen this year shows me, yeah, that's a franchise quarterback. You know, like he's not even doing anything better than Bo Nix. You know, so if he's a franchise quarterback, what's Bo Nix? You know, so that's kind of it must be hot take day today.
You know, I'm not high on Bo Nix.
Yeah, I'm with you on that either.
But yeah, I mean, Drake May, I do think the interceptions is something to keep an eye on, because even if he gets the receivers and he gets the protection, um, are we for sure gonna know that's gonna limit those turnovers? We'll see, because it's not like the receivers are like dropping the ball going through their hands, and he's getting picked off. He's like literally just tossing it to the defender, and he kind of fumbles a lot. So those are two things that can ruin your career. But he has the potential. I'll evaluate him for real next year. Um, at least I don't think the team's going to be way better next year, but we'll see.
Not a great free agent class. I just want to add out there too this year. If you look at the guys coming up,
No, definitely. So they're gonna have to go in the draft, and the Patriots in the draft. I don't know about that.
Don't get me started on that, please.
Next, N'Keal Harry.
I don't want to. We had AJ Bratt.
He picked Jalen Polk over Lad McConkey.
I don't want to get started on that. I love me some Sony Michel, but we could have. I wanted them to take Nick Chubb.
That's way back.
Yeah, hey, that's Super Bowl champion Sony Michel you're talking about.
Yeah, we would have still. And he retired now. He had a great career, but we would have still had Nick Chubb. So, and that's at least we don't. That's one aspect of the field that you ain't got to worry about. And
yeah, but knowing the Patriots, as soon as Nick Chubb got that first knee injury, they would have got rid of it. So
that's true. All right, man. But we're gonna move right along into the show.
We'll have plenty of Patriots talk in the offseason.
We're talking about the Thanksgiving games. Honestly, we're gonna start with the best game of the night: the Lions and the Bears. Who would like to start first on this historical, hilarious Thursday night game?
We're gonna talk about how the Bears sold the game, the game time field goal. They could have had a field goal out of that whole situation. Poor clock management, and Caleb Williams, bruh. You just got to be a little, he's never been in that situation, I'll say, so I'll give him that. But coaching, bruh, come on, like, I'd have been screaming, yell timeout, something, like ran on, do something. Just don't let him dwindle the clock down and then throw that dumbass, bullshit ass pass. Like, figure something out.
Anyone else's thoughts on the Bears Lions game?
I agree with Clips, but on the coach too. I said in my head before this, I'm like, if this clock gets down to like 9-8 seconds, you got to take a timeout there just to ensure it and run a quick out route if you want to try to gain a few yards. But we saw Eberflus get fired, so we'll see what Caleb can do now. I think Caleb has a lot of potential, but the thing with Caleb is this kid needs to realize you don't need to throw the ball 100 miles per hour on every throw. He has open throws where he doesn't need to zip it in there, that he just tries to huck at 100 miles per hour, and it goes right through guys' hands. It's off target. Just make a soft little touch pass and get it there. And then another thing, too, is holding on to the ball. You're not looking in the right area of the field. This is probably coaching, too. I'm sure he'll get out of it as long as they get someone in there who doesn't ruin them. But you got guys open, you're looking on the wrong side of the field, and then when you do, you're trying to find a better play downfield. You can't look for that better play downfield in the NFL. This isn't college anymore. But I think he'll be okay. But it's I'm curious to see if Ryan Poles keeps his job after this year too, because that's the only reason why Eberflus is fired, in my opinion, to try to cover his ass.
Ty?
honestly, the whole talk and the whole blame has been Caleb, but that was Eberflus showing you that whoever hired him is a dummy. Okay, because they were already in field goal range. Then he calls the pass and play. DJ Moore catches it. Oh, but wait, the lineman put the hands to the face. Okay, so now it's coming back. So as a coach, after that play, what are you gonna run? I would run, I would just hand it off to, the running back because we already lost a lot of yards off that one play, and we're getting close to now getting out of field goal range. But the good old Matt Eberflus calls a QB draw that ends up getting Caleb Williams sacked. So a rookie who just saw his coach call the dumbest play and just took a sack is now getting up, hurrying up to the line. And then the rookie, whatever call was called, changes the play. And the coach is sitting there watching his rookie quarterback change the play. All these guys are lined up looking lost, like they don't know what they're doing. And he's like, yep, that was the best call we had. That was the best decision we could have made. Guy's a dummy. And I feel bad for the whole organization because there was high hopes going into Chicago. There was a playoff talk, NFC North Division title talk, even analysts on ESPN Super Bowl talk, And it came down to what we already knew. Matt Eberflus sucked. Same reason why they gave up on Justin Fields and kept him. It was the quarterback. I mean, it was the coach. It wasn't the quarterback. We already know this. Now it comes tough for Caleb because now you're going to head into a new year, new coach, new play caller. We'll see. That's all I got to say.
My turn? Because I'm about to.
Yep.
I got a lot
You
to
gonna
say.
flame him?
When we talk about things like this, we got to unpeel everything back, right? So we don't start back far back. This is bigger than just the quarterback, the coach. It starts with the front office, the owner, GMs, the whole shebang. You draft Mitchell Trubisky. You could have Patrick Mahomes. You pick up Mitchell Trubisky. Who was your coach? John Fox. How did that end up? Okay, so you had to restart again. You go get Justin Fields. Who's your next coach? Matt Nagy. How does that end up? Matt Nagy apparently didn't even want him. You trade him off, and now Fields is showing us like he could probably be a competent quarterback. Now you get Caleb Williams, clearly your best quarterback in Bears history. By the way, he just broke the rookie record for passing yards in Bears history. And he just cracked over 2,000 yards. Just want to put that out there to people watching. That's how great the Bears have been when it comes to drafting quarterbacks and having quarterbacks at play. So that's one thing. Now back to the season. The downfall starts when you have a miscommunication in Washington and blow up the Hail Mary play. You bench him. Fine, whatever. Do what you want to do, right? Then you follow it up with more stupid play calls and penalties. You get blown out back-to-back games. You blow another game that you should have won. This all goes back into the coaching now. You don't have a hold on your team. They're just making bonehead plays and continuously to do so. So now we're back to Thursday night's game. Caleb Williams, the Bears had a horrible start first half. They find a way to come back. They get into the red zone. He gets a sack with 32 seconds left. The OC's probably drawing up the next play, so he's not listening. But there's people above in the box seats or whatever they're called. Probably they should have been like, "Yo, call timeout, call timeout." I don't know how to pronounce his name. So
Eberflus.
He's just standing there with a blank stare. Nothing, no communication, nothing. Not even a sense of the word. It's almost as if he's just there watching it on TV. He's not even coaching. He's like in the moment. My rookie quarterback, by now, because it's week 12, you should know by then, by clock management, you should call timeout. So I'm going to give Caleb some of that blame too. But it goes mostly on the coaching. You wasted the entire clock to throw up a BS throw to Roma Duzier. Like, I feel Keenan Allen after the post game. We did everything we could have done as players to win that game. Yes, you should. You did. Your coaching should know to call a timeout. At worst, you go to overtime and lose. But you will live with that knowing that you gave your team a chance to win the game. And it's things like this where everyone wants to get the hot shot OC or the next up-and-comer coordinator to be a coach. And these dudes are not ready to be coaches. And it's things like this that ruins quarterbacks like a Caleb Williams or much less caliber quarterbacks so young because they start to build bad habits throughout the season. Because if you notice, Caleb throws a lot of deep passes that got picked off for no reason. He doesn't have to throw the ball or take sacks that he shouldn't take like he did in that game. These are bad habits he builds up on. And that's going to take the new coach to come in and try to break him out of these habits. And then if he don't, he's a bust. And then the cycle starts again. So it's like, hope everyone around the league is watching and seeing what's going on in Chicago and make sure they don't do those same things. There's teams that's doing the same thing or worse. But this is a great example why if you draft a quarterback like Caleb Williams, you need to have a strong-minded coach like a Mike Vrabel or Brian Flores, even though we know he's not getting a job. But I'm just mentioning him because he's a strong-minded coach I think about in that locker room to keep guys and hold guys accountable. Because if you can't hold guys accountable in the locker room, if you can't hold yourself accountable, his press conference alone, I thought this was a great play. You're not even taking accountability for your wrongdoing. These players ain't going to look at you as the leader, and it's going to be a continued downward spiral. And this is why the Bears are the Bears. This is why they've been a joke for so long. And this is why they haven't had a competent quarterback since. I can't even say. But
Jay Cutler, maybe. Rex Grossman.
I don't even want to give him that. Jay Cutler, that's a whole other conversation. But, yeah, that's my thoughts on the Bears.
Hear me out. I remember Tom saying that a lot of teams draft these rookie quarterbacks and just throw them in. They don't give them time to behind a veteran to understand situational game clock management and game management. And this is one of those key moments. I'm just being honest. Like, he's a rookie. He's like the college game and the NFL game are two different games, especially when it comes to clock management and key game situations. And like y'all say, it goes back to coaching. I guess I will blame Caleb for certain situations, but at the end of the day, bro, coaching and people in that skybox, y'all are his ears. Like, y'all should have been yelling timeout, stop the clock, something to go late into that play clock to throw that BS pass to Trey said it to his point. And to who he threw it to anyway, it wasn't gonna if you let's say if the pass would have got there, double coverage. It still wasn't a catchable ball. So it wasn't
gonna get there. It's like he threw it away, but in the back of the end zone to make it seem like it was gonna be catchable.
Exactly. So
to add to your point, and of course I'll let you in. Even if the ball was catchable, right? You wasted so much time on the clock, you wasn't gonna be able to capitalize on it. It's so bad on so many times.
I mean, the receiver was heading into the end zone, so maybe they were trying to recreate their own Hail Mary, even though they didn't draw up a Hail Mary. But I just can't blame Caleb because I've seen Dak Prescott run up the middle and slide with 10 seconds left and try to come spike the ball. That's a player decision.
There was another guy, the defender, in between the end zone and Dunze anyway, so he would have got tackled, I think.
Oh yeah, no, there were two defenders. I think if the ball was even got close to the players, it was gonna get picked off.
So I want to start with you, Clips. Who you think is the best replacement? And we're gonna touch more on this during the offseason too. But who will be someone that you think could come into Chicago and change hope? Because if you look at it, it's not going to be easy looking at the division. You got McDonald up in Minnesota doing what he's doing with freaking Sam Darnold. You have the player coach himself, who I thought about when you mentioned it earlier, Mike Campbell. And then you have Matt LaFleur in Green Bay. So you need a coach that's going to be able to come in and hold the locker room accountable as well as his coach staff and himself accountable. Because you have the quarterback, you have the offense, you got a good defense. You need the coach and the scheme to have players buy in. So, Clips, who would you think? Who is someone that comes to mind that could probably go in and
I really don't even know. I'll let you guys throw some names out there because I really don't even know. I'm looking at it, looking up coaching potentials right now. So
it's a tough one. Like, I think you should get a defensive coach like Vrabel and then try to bring in an OC or something, because offensive head coaches, like, yeah, there's Andy Reid. Shanahan struggles with game management. Like, I know I don't think Belichick would go there. I know you could take a risk on Ben Johnson, but I don't know. But one thing you said about the players' coaches, and you mentioned Dan Campbell. Here's the difference between Dan Campbell and the rest of these player coaches. Dan Campbell disciplines his players and holds people accountable. A lot of these other players' coaches don't.
Mike Tomlin's another one.
Yeah, but discipline and accountability, like McDaniel, he doesn't do that. Like LaFleur has started to show him to do that. He didn't do it early on in his career, so maybe it just takes time. Mayo hasn't done that yet. I know we're only a few months into his coaching thing, so I'm just very weary when I hear players coaches. But if you, like, as I said, Chicago can take a risk on Ben Johnson if they want, but I'd just be very wary about bringing in the top OC to do it, where you could get a defensive guy like Belichick or who's the guy I just mentioned? I forgot it off the top of my head. Vrabel. Get someone like that and have him bring in Josh McDaniels or someone like that to work with him as an OC, where he's just working with the quarterback and he doesn't have to worry about coaching the whole team.
Ty, your thoughts?
Yeah, I honestly, Mike pretty much threw out all the candidates. But honestly,
there's one that he didn't.
Yeah, there's one. Yeah, there's one he didn't mention. But in my opinion, I think they should go Ben Johnson. Because especially the defense is already good, so I can understand getting a defensive-minded coach. But clearly, you don't want to mess up on this quarterback. So I think you need that offensive guy who is going to help the quarterback. And I think Ben Johnson can do that, because pretty much when we look at the Detroit Lions and we look at their offense, we can kind of say it's stacked, and they do it so well that Jared Goff doesn't have to feed Laporta and everyone the ball. So he can do the same thing in Chicago. Chicago has the offensive weapons. Keenan Allen is getting old, but he still is serviceable. And with Rome Odunze and DJ Moore, I think bringing in that offensive-minded coach like Ben Johnson, that shows, to Clips's point, Caleb shouldn't be needing to pass like 50 times a game. He's going to do that for him. Let's get everyone in the offense involved. And I think they should draft a running back and get Ben Johnson and pretty much replicate what they're doing in Detroit. Because Detroit's defense is good. Injuries, you can be like, and I think it could be the same thing. I would love them to go get Bill Belichick, but I don't think he'll play. He don't want to play with a rookie. I don't think he's trying to do that.
One thing I just want to mention too is look at the roster construction of the Bears. They play right in, like, basically against a Great Lake, like Buffalo does, and look at how different different way the two teams are constructed. The Bears are not constructed at all like the Bills. So how are you going to win in your own stadium with the way that team's constructed?
A coach that no one mentioned, he's not an offensive-minded coach, but I think he can help. And he's known to galvanize troops. Steve Spagnuolo, that's one that I can think of. Another name literally that came to my mind that I thought about. He's coaching on the college side now, but he never got a fair shake, and I feel like why not give him a chance if he's willing to leave college? And he's also known for the offenses. Eric Bieniemy, I think Eric Bieniemy could be another solid choice for at least if you're looking to help mold the offense. And I think he can do something good with that offense as well. We all know he had some issues with players in the locker rooms, though, from what was told by some players. But I think that's someone that you can take a look at also. Moving on, we're going to talk about this week's games. But before that, we're going to spend a few minutes on the Bills. Do you guys think the Buffalo Bills can close the gap, or is closing the gap for the number one seed against the Chiefs to get in the AFC? Bye.
Personally, myself, I don't see it happening. I think look at the Chiefs, the way they've been able to pull out these games that they should have lost. They just have everything on their side, whether it may be luck, whether it may be coaching, depends on the game and everything. I just
officials.
I don't know. Did you guys get a chance to see the video? Because was the whistle blown before the ball was recovered or not? That's my question to you guys, because I didn't go back and look at it.
So I don't know about the whistle, but I know that one of the refs on the sideline already tossed his flag in the air and was moving his hands like it was a pre-snap call. But the other ones, they were discussing and they were like, no, the call was after the snap. It's a fumble, Chiefs ball. So I agree with Mike, honestly. If they're winning off of anything now, off of luck. So it's going to be hard, and I think Buffalo has a harder next couple games anyways. That can go either way. So it's going to be very hard for them to win out and Kansas City to lose too.
Real quick, I just seen it was reported 2 hours ago that Cliff Kingsbury is a top candidate for the Chicago Bears head coaching job. And obviously that's due to him having the ties with Caleb in college. So just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, that's funny. It's like we let Cliff Kingsbury coach another quarterback he coached. I wonder how that went.
I don't think you're a big fan of this tie here and this based off what you said in the past, correct?
Cliff Kingsbury, I think he's overrated. And you know me, I love the Rams beating up on Cliff Kingsbury, but I said this earlier in one of the podcasts, that you got to know your role. Not every coach, not every offensive coordinator can be a head coach. They're good at what they're known for. Not everyone can make that jump. That's why I see Cliff Kingsbury. He can be an offensive coordinator because we've seen good stuff in Washington this year. And we've seen good stuff in the past, but as a head coach, I just don't think.
Moving, we're gonna get back right into the Bills before we wrap up the show and give our predictions for the games today and tomorrow. Mike, did you get a chance to finish up?
Yeah, I don't think anyone's catching the Chiefs. Like, yeah, they could lose to the Steelers. I don't see them losing any of these other games. And Bills got to face the Lions. I think they'll beat San Francisco tonight, so I don't see the gap closing.
Clips, any thoughts? Do you think the Bills can close the gap for the number one seed in AFC?
Nah, it's looking like it's gonna be the Chiefs. Like they're gonna find a way to win, bro. Whether it's Andy Reid paying off the refs, I'm trolling. But they're gonna find a way. I'm just trolling. But they're not gonna. There's nobody catching them right now. The Bills ain't catching them. It's the Chiefs to win. So when you find a way to win, anyway, anyhow, it's hard to go against that team. Like.
I want to just point out the Chiefs are only a game ahead on the Bills for the AFC number one spot. Chiefs are 11-1. The Bills are 9-2. Obviously, there was a bye week in between that. That's why there's a 2-game gap. At
Those
the
have
moment,
the tiebreaker as well. Just
yeah,
to add that.
and Buffalo has the tiebreaker. So if Buffalo somehow miraculously wins out and the Chiefs find a way to lose one game, with them being tied, the Bills will most likely get the number 1 seed, unless they go off division stuff too. Which the Bills, by the way, can wrap up the division with a win today.
They ain't losing the division even if they lose today.
So I just wanted to put that out there. I think the Bills have a chance to catch the Chiefs. When I'm looking at the schedule, they have the Chargers coming up next week, Browns, Texans, Steelers, Broncos. I don't see the Chiefs winning out those games. I feel like they might lose at least 2 games out of the bunch. My best bet was I feel like they could lose the Steelers game and potentially Houston, depending on how the offense is looking. Because C.J. Stroud has not been looking like himself the last few weeks. But I could definitely see him losing against the Steelers. And then, so when I look at that, and then I go look at the Bills' remaining schedule, you got the Niners tonight, Rams, Lions, Patriots. If they can at least win 3 out of those 4 games, they should be solid. I think they might lose against the Lions. I think they beat the Niners and the Bills, and they should be able to beat the Patriots. But I think they got a chance. They have a tougher schedule, in my opinion, because actually, no, they don't. They don't have a tougher schedule. I'll take that back. I just think they have a good chance. Do I think they can do it? Will they do it? I don't think so, but it's something to talk about at least, because the AFC hasn't really been good at all. I don't know what's going on. It's something about the East Coast, like the Eastern Conference in basketball, the AFC. It's like nothing's been. It's like the team overall is weaker. Also, the better talent is in the AFC overall, but I don't know.
I'd give the Broncos more of a chance to beat the Chiefs than the Texans, to be honest with you.
I was leaning towards that too because of the defense and them being a divisional rival. I like the Chargers too, but it depends if the defense isn't going to come and play for the Chargers. We're going to move right along, though. We're going to get into these picks for today's slate and Monday night's game. So, Mike, you can definitely take it away.
All right. I was going to say, you want to go over the point totals at all? Or?
We can start with that first, sure.
All right, so in the lead, Moose is in the lead with 285. Clips is in second at 281. Pesos missed a week, and he's in third at 241. Myself is at 237 and ties at 229. So the first game we got today is Texans at Jags. Trevor Lawrence is back today for the Jags. Texans are -3.5. Myself and Peso both have the Texans -3.5.
Wait, say that again. What's the game?
Texans, Jags. Texans -3.5.
I got Texans. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got Texans straight up.
Yeah, I got Texans.
I'm going Texans straight up.
Let's see if I can get another sweep on my picks.
I was going to say that would be impressive.
Let's see.
All right. Next game we got is Titans at Commanders. Commanders are -6. Peso has the Commanders -6. I got the Titans straight up.
Commanders straight up.
I got Commanders straight up.
I got Commanders straight up.
Next game we got is Colts at Patriots. Colts are -2.5. Peso has the Patriots +2.5, and I have the Colts -2.5.
This is going to be one of my pick'ems, I guess. I mean, one of my giveaways. I didn't bet on this game because I really don't like the matchup for either one team, but I'm going to go Patriots straight up.
I can see it. Not going to lie.
I'm going to go.
Jonathan Taylor's playing, right?
What did you say, Musa?
Jonathan Taylor's playing today, right?
Yes, I believe so. They were taking bets for him to get a touchdown at least.
Ty, you said Colts straight up?
Yeah, I'll go Colts.
Who do you want, Clue? Oh,
I got Colts straight up.
all right.
Drake May, don't fail me. I got a perfect pick'em race on the line. Don't fail me.
One thing I got to say about him is he can get away with the interceptions, but he needs to be able to get the points with it because that's how Baker's got away with it. James has got away with it, but until he gets that, it's going to be an issue in my opinion. But next game we got is Cardinals and Vikings. Vikings are -3. Peso has the Cardinals +3, and I'm reluctantly taking the Vikings straight up. This is a coin flip game in my opinion.
We don't need that bad juju, Mike. I got the Vikings straight up though.
I got Cardinals straight up.
I'll go. I'm gonna go Cardinals straight up.
Sam Darnold, Jettas, defense. Don't let me down. I think he's like Kiki, something like that. The linebacker from Minnesota. I forgot. I mispronounced his name. He's been balling this year. He could be a Pro Bowler, All Pro type of player this season.
Don't sleep on Jordan Addison. He's been the main receiver over there for the past few games. So I was going to say, if any of y'all are betting him and Naylor, I believe the tight end is.
Speaking of that, Ty, you might beat me this week. I'm projected to lose.
Maybe. I thank Brock Bowers for helping me, but maybe.
I'm glad you did play David Montgomery either.
All right, next game we got is Steelers at the Bengals. Bengals are -3. Peso has the Bengals straight up. I have the Steelers straight up.
I got Steelers. Straight up.
I got Bengals.
Do I want to play McCaffrey?
I got Bengals straight up.
Damn, it's a snow game in Buffalo. I want to keep McCaffrey.
There's not going to be much snow. It's just what's on the ground for the forecast that I looked at. At least there might be some flurries, but nothing crazy.
I got Cooper Kupp, Garrett Wilson, Terry McLaurin, and Trey McBride on the bench. Damn.
Next game we got is Seahawks at the Jets. Seahawks are -1. Peso has the Jets +1, and I got the Seahawks -1.
I got Seattle straight up.
I'm going to actually go with the Jets.
You haven't learned your lesson yet, huh?
No.
Hopefully you don't learn this week. I need the Seahawks to win.
I got Jets
I'm
straight
just
up.
trying to get some points. I'm trying to get some points, and
I'm
Clips
trying
is
to make
feeling me right now.
trying to make some money, so I'm picking all my picks. What I got on the money line.
I don't know, man. The Jets. I don't think the Jets should be getting 1 point against almost any team in the league the way they played this year. But
Ahmed Gardner has not been. I don't know what the hell happened to him this year.
Who Sauce?
I don't call him Sauce. Who Sauce?
He sucks so bad you took his nickname away.
He ain't had no Sauce this year, man. I don't know what's going on. He's still one of the best corners in the league, though. But this year, he I don't know. I guess that negativity just rubbed off everywhere.
You got to remember, though, who's coordinating the defense? That was all solid. I know Ulbrich was there, but look at the difference, man.
That's my point. I don't know what's going on, but that the defense in general needs some sauce.
Next game we got is Chargers at Falcons. Chargers are -1. Peso has the Falcons +1. I got the Chargers -1. I think this might be a blowout.
I took the Chargers straight up.
Yeah, I got Chargers straight up.
Which kind of makes me nervous because they seem like Herbert can put up all the yards in the road and can't throw a damn touchdown. So now that I think about it, I should have left that game on off my money line.
It's funny you say that. I just looked while we were on the app trying to find Dicker field goals on DraftKings. They didn't even put it up, but I'm going to go to the other books after we're off just to try to hit that real quick because I know there's going to be a lot of kicks today.
I got Falcons.
I think Darnell Mooney's playing today, too.
I was going to say, I think he's the best receiver personally, but I don't think it's going to make a difference, man. So I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, as I said before. And speaking of the team that I think is going to replace them, the next game we got is Buccaneers at the Panthers. Buccaneers are -6. Peso and myself both have the Buccaneers straight up.
Panthers.
Straight up?
Nah, I got the Bucs straight up.
I got Bucks -6.
I'm taking Bucks straight up.
What's up, Ty? You don't have any faith in Bryce Young? How he's revived himself?
Yeah, I'm trying to get some points, but I ain't trying to be dead last. You know.
I got you. It's a strategy pick. No. I feel you.
Listen,
I should have computed that.
I always believed in Bryce. I don't believe in
you. Did. No, you didn't. You that might be that might be a golden take for you because you have stayed consistent on that, and I know I downed him, but we'll see what happens. Dave Canales revived Baker Mayfield. We'll see if it goes with Bryce Young as well. Next game we got is Ty's Rams at the Saints. Rams are -3. Peso has the Rams -3. I got the Saints straight up.
I got Saints straight up. I'm kidding. I got the Rams. I just wanted to see Ty's reaction.
I got the Rams straight up.
Right.
I got Rams -3.
Puka. And Cooper Kupp going to go crazy.
Just a heads up to everyone. Puka Nakua's reception line is 6.5 at plus money. Every game that he's completed, not got ejected or injured, he's gone over that. So if anyone's out there, play some bets today. But next game we got is probably the game of the week right here. Philadelphia at Baltimore. Baltimore's -2.5. Peso has Baltimore -2.5. I got the Eagles straight up.
Trues.
I'm going Philly straight up. No bull.
Yes, sir.
Y'all know where I'm going. Yeah.
Ravens -2.5.
And we home. Trues. We gonna get it done.
So you want Philly +2.5, correct?
Absolutely. I want Derrick Henry showing why he thinks he's the number one running back this season.
Do you want him on the spread or straight up?
Oh, I got Ravens straight up.
All right, we got the Sunday night game tonight, as long as it doesn't get canceled, which I don't think it will. It hasn't got canceled yet. Brock Purdy is scheduled to play, I believe. It's 49ers, the Bills. Bills are -6. Peso and myself both have Buffalo straight up.
Buffalo straight up. I'm just glad none of that snow has trickled over to us.
I got the Niners.
Go ahead, Ty.
Nah, I just got the Niners.
I got Bills straight. Now let me get Bills -6.
Yeah, I think they could blow them out. I'm with you on that close, but I'm still taking them straight up.
Is Keon Coleman back this game?
I don't think so. I know
who's
Kincaid's
back?
out too.
Matt Milano.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Rusty.
I thought he was going to be out for the year, bro. I'm not going to lie. It's good for him.
Hold on, Mike. Let me go Bills straight. Fuck that -6.
All right, I got you.
Matt Milano is back. He's going to be rusty, though.
Next game we got is the Monday night game, and the last game we'll be picking tonight, or today. Sorry about that. Browns at Broncos. Broncos are -6. Pesos, the Broncos -6, and this is another game that I haven't picked yet, and so that means I'm reluctantly going to take the Broncos straight up. I hope Cleveland wins, though. I'm not going to lie.
Dang, who did I pick on the money line? I think I went Broncos. So I'm going to go Broncos straight up.
I'm going Broncos.
Broncos straight up.
All right. Well, that's it for the NFL games. On Wednesday, we'll be picking all the conference championship games for college football and Thursday night game, I believe. Because I don't know if there's any Saturday games starting yet. I don't think it is for another week.
That is it. That will conclude another episode of the Pick6 podcast. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. We'll see you guys on Wednesday for a college football edition episode. We got a lot to talk about. We got the conference championship games. We got the final, hopefully one of the few final editions of the college football playoff bracket and much more. And then, of course, we here on Sundays, as usual, give you guys some good football content. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Everyone had a great Thanksgiving. We'll see you guys on the flip side.
Rated 8.